What if the worst mistake of your life came crawling back from the grave, demanding another round? Worse yet, what if that mistake was Beetlejuice, the most unpredictable, selfish, and downright dangerous ghost ever to haunt you?
Let me guess. You're back because I'm the only idiot who can fix this mess.
Lydia Dietz had sworn she'd never say his name again, let alone see his face. But life, or in this case death, has a funny way of serving up the impossible. Beetlejuice is back, and this time he isn't just here to stir up trouble, he's bringing something far worse. And like the bad habit he is, he's making a new demand: marry me or watch the world burn. Would you make a deal with the devil to save everything you love? Or would you let the world crumble just to avoid that one bad decision? For Lydia, there's no good option, and Beetlejuice knows it. Cue the chaos. Lydia's childhood home, now infested with spirits. Shards of glass rain down as Lydia, dressed in black tactical gear, dodges a flying chair hurled by an unseen force. She's been in this business long enough to know when a spirit's playing tricks, and this is no ordinary haunting.
Mom, watch out!
Astrid, her daughter, stands back-to-back with Lydia, holding some bizarre ghost-hunting tech they rigged up. A spectral figure barrels toward them, glowing green and crackling with energy. They dive, narrowly avoiding the ghost. A loud crash echoes behind them as the figure slams into the wall, dissipating in a cloud of mist.
Come on, Lids, you're not even trying. You know what happens next, right?
Before Lydia can catch her breath, Beetlejuice's maniacal laughter fills the house. He's watching from the rafters like a deranged puppet master, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Suddenly, the ground beneath them rumbles as cracks tear through the floor. Dark tendrils of shadow erupt from the ground, swirling like hungry black smoke. The Hollow Man begins to emerge, his hollow eyes gleaming as he rips through the veil between worlds. We flash back to earlier that week where Lydia sits alone in her study. It's been years since she last heard from Beetlejuice, but the uneasy silence of the room suddenly breaks as a letter magically appears on her desk. She hesitates, a chill running down her spine. The letter reads,
"Long time no scream, babe. Meet me at the old house. Beetlejuice."
She stares at the note in disbelief. Beetlejuice's return could only mean one thing: disaster. Lydia had thought she left that life behind, but now it was clawing its way back.
Beetlejuice was back. And if there was one thing I had learned over the years, it was that nothing good ever followed his name.
Lydia Dietz grumbles to herself as she stares at the cryptic message that appeared on her desk that morning. When Beetlejuice called, the afterlife wasn't far behind, and trouble always found a way into her world. She had spent decades moving on from the chaos he'd brought into her life as a teenager, becoming a renowned paranormal investigator. But tonight, Halloween night, she found herself heading back to the source of all her problems, the decrepit, haunted house she grew up in. Except now, she wasn't alone. Her daughter, Astrid, was determined to follow her into the belly of the beast, whether Lydia liked it or not. Chapter 3. The House of Horrors. As they step inside, the house is more sinister than Lydia remembers. Its walls pulse like a living creature, and the once familiar scent of decay now reeks of something far darker. The house has new owners, a family that seems trapped in a waking nightmare, with objects flying around their heads and unseen forces whispering in their ears.
Honestly, I was expecting more haunted, less Home Depot clearance section. Maybe Beetlejuice could work his magic on the interior decorating.
But there's no time for jokes, as Beetlejuice himself appears. Not in his usual ridiculous, grotesque form, but as a distorted reflection in every mirror in the house. His cackling fills the room, echoing off the walls like a carnival from hell.
Lydia, my love, it's been ages. And wow, you're looking older. I guess I should have called sooner, huh? And who's this little nightmare?
He grins down at Astrid, who glares back defiantly. Beetlejuice relishes the moment, clearly feeding off the tension.
So here's the deal. I accidentally let out something big from the other side. No biggie, just the Hollow Man, the deadliest spirit in the entire afterlife. He's going to destroy your world, but if we work together, we can stop him. Sort of.
Lydia's jaw tightens. She knows Beetlejuice well enough to smell a trap.
What's your angle this time? What do you want?
Beetlejuice leans in, his twisted grin growing wider.
Oh, nothing much, just a little I do. A walk down the aisle and a few vows. You marry me, and I'll help you save the world. What do you say? Wedding bells in the afterlife, sweetheart.
Chapter 4, The Controversial Deal. Lydia is horrified, but her mind races. If the Hollow Man is as dangerous as Beetlejuice says, then every moment they waste puts both the living and dead at risk. Still, the idea of being bound to Beetlejuice forever is almost as terrifying as the spirit they face. Astrid watches her mother, fury in her eyes.
You can't actually be considering this? Marry him? After everything?
Lydia hesitates, torn between two impossible choices. Before she can speak, Beetlejuice's voice drops to a deadly serious tone.
You don't get it, do you? The Hollow Man doesn't just kill you, he eats you. Your soul, your memories, everything. When he's done, there's nothing left. Not even in the afterlife.
Sounds like your kind of crowd.
But even Beetlejuice's bravado fades.
I may be a monster kid, but I've got style. The Hollow Man's just a void. Trust me, you don't want to meet him.
Lydia makes her decision. She'll marry Beetlejuice, but only under one condition. She's spent enough time studying afterlife bureaucracy to know a loophole when she sees one.
We do it temporarily, just long enough to stop the Hollow Man, and then the deal's off. You go back to your hole, and I never see you again.
Beetlejuice's grin returns.
Temporary marriage, babe, you break my heart, but I'll take it for now.
As they begin their bizarre union, the house starts to shake violently. The walls twist and groan as the Hollow Man begins to manifest.
I can feel the air growing colder.
Beetlejuice's usual cavalier attitude shifts into something darker. Even he seems genuinely frightened.
The Hollow Man is not what we expected.
His form is an ever-shifting mass of shadows, his face featureless except for hollow, glowing eyes. His presence sucks the life out of the room, and Lydia realizes just how deadly he is. Fear doesn't fuel him, it consumes him.
Time for the grand finale!
With a flick of his wrist, Beetlejuice conjures a grotesque wedding altar in the middle of the room, complete with decaying flowers and skeleton guests.
Let's get hitched and save the world, baby.
Astrid, desperate to protect her mother, jumps into the fray. She's not powerless. She has a connection to the paranormal, something Lydia never told her about. Drawing on the latent energy of the house, she attempts to banish Beetlejuice herself, but her efforts only make things worse. The Hollow Man grows stronger, feeding off the energy Astrid has unwittingly released.
Nice going, kid. You just supercharged him.
The walls crumble around them. Chapter 6. The Final Confrontation. Lydia knows that they are running out of time. In a desperate move, she and Beetlejuice merge their energies, creating a powerful vortex to trap the Hollow Man. But the creature's power is immense, and he fights back, feeding on their deepest fears and memories.
I will erase you. I will erase everything.
His voice echoes through the house, a hollow, terrifying whisper. But it's Astrid who delivers the final blow. With a burst of anger and defiance, she taps into the afterlife, calling upon the spirits of those the Hollow Man has consumed. The spirits rise from the ground, surrounding him, their voices a haunting chorus. Slowly, they pull the Hollow Man into the void, his hollow eyes flickering out as he disappears. Epilogue. Temporary victory. With the Hollow Man gone, the house returns to its eerie but manageable state. Lydia breaks free from her temporary marriage, and Beetlejuice, true to his word, slinks back into the shadows, but not before making one last remark.
You know, Lydia, I was starting to like being your hubby. Maybe next time we'll make it permanent.
Not a chance.
Astrid, exhausted but triumphant, turns to her mother.
So what's next? Paranormal training camp?
Something like that.
Ending 1. The Unexpected Union. Lydia stands in the wreckage of the house, the dust settling after their battle. Beetlejuice leans in close, still smirking. He held up his end of the deal. The Hollow Man is gone, but now it's time for Lydia to fulfill her promise.
I'll be a good husband, or at least as good as I get.
Surprisingly, Lydia agrees, but not out of fear or defeat. Instead, she chooses to marry him on her own terms, knowing that controlling Beetlejuice might be the only way to truly keep the afterlife in check. Just as Lydia prepares to banish Beetlejuice once and for all, something unexpected happens.
You know what, Mom? Maybe you've been wrong this whole time. He's not the enemy. You are.
In this shocking twist, Astrid makes a deal with Beetlejuice, believing that the paranormal world offers her the power and freedom her mother's been hiding from her all along. She decides to team up with him, embracing the chaos that Beetlejuice represents. Lydia watches in horror as her daughter walks into the afterlife with Beetlejuice, leaving her alone and defeated. So, which ending left you speechless? Should Lydia accept her dark fate and partner with Beetlejuice to control the chaos? Or did Astrid's betrayal shock you more, setting up a new power dynamic in the afterlife? You decide. Vote on which ending you prefer, and the one with the most votes will be the official storyline in Beetlejuice 4. Let the afterlife drama unfold based on your choice. As the dust settles and the house grows quiet, Lydia and Astrid leave, thinking the worst is behind them. But deep within the afterlife, Beetlejuice sits on a throne made of bones, his grin wider than ever.
Welcome back, boss. Thought I'd never see you again.
The figure doesn't respond, but its presence is undeniable. Even Beetlejuice, the master of chaos, seems afraid. As the screen fades to black, the figure's hollow eyes gleam, and a single, chilling whisper fills the void.
The Hollow Man was just the beginning.
Well, that was a twisted ride, huh? So are you siding with Team Beetlejuice or letting Astrid run the afterlife? Don't forget to vote for your favorite ending down below. Otherwise, Beetlejuice might show up in your nightmares tonight. You wouldn't want him redecorating your mind, would you? Also, make sure to subscribe or Lydia's marrying that ghoul and you'll miss the best wedding reception of all time. I'm talking floating hors d'oeuvres, people. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, but daylight come and I want to go home.